Willie Ing, former San Antonio SAPD for many, many years, former Secret Service, and now the owner of Blue Armor Security, joining me on the Stevens Roofing Newsmaker Hotline. And Willie and I were talking this weekend about this as the story was developing. And here we sit this morning, Willie, with clearly one of the worst transnational murderous gangs on planet Earth, if not the worst, is here in San Antonio, and confirmation of that.
Yes, Trey, I've been telling people for, quite some time now with these open borders that this was going to happen. It's interesting to me how one side of the aisle tends to think that everyone coming over, wants to have a better life and wants to improve the quality of life where they're coming from. And look, I don't argue that there's probably a small percentage of those that's the truth. But when you start mixing politics with public safety, this is what you get right here. Look, these bad guys, this group is evil. People don't understand this. They will rape, murder young children, women, men. I mean, they don't care. They don't care about your political affiliation. But yet we have people playing politics with public safety, and this is what we have. This is what we get right here.
Now, we know about Jocelyn Nungaray over in Houston. We know about the woman, the story that broke over the weekend, the woman in Dallas. 4 of the TDA members went after her. And when Kamala opened the border and said, come on in, then Venezuela opened up their prisons. And I said last hour that there is I can't find words, and I deal with words every day. I can't find words horrific enough to describe what TDA does to other human beings.
Yeah, you don't want to. And I tell people, they say, I don't understand the reasoning behind it. And I said, well, that's good. Because the moment you understand this evilness is when you become evil yourself. Look, it's interesting to me, as you mentioned, the sheriff was there at the DNC talking about that these people want a better life and, we don't have crime issue. Well, let me tell you something. If you're a U.S. citizen and you live here in Bexar County and you want to become a deputy sheriff, guess what you have to do to become a sheriff? Well, you got to go through a background check. You got to go through a psycho evaluation. You got to go physical fitness. So you have checks and balances because the sheriff wants to make damn sure that he's getting the right person in his department. Well, why not we start with making we get the right damn people into our country?
Yeah.
Why don't we have some type of process?
Exactly. Well, and not only did they collapse the border and welcome these people in, they incentivized them to come in, $10,000 a piece on a card, plus they get free health care, plus their kids get free education, plus they can bring in all the fentanyl they want to, and we see that death and destruction on the streets. And we see this over and over again, and the mayor opens up his arms and says, come to San Antonio. The city manager says, come to San Antonio, and we will facilitate your onward travel. All of them downtown, they're guilty. And I got to tell you something, Willie, I believe on the political side of this, if you vote for Kamala Harris or Javier Salazar or any of these other people, you are voting to confirm TDA being in the United States of America. You're voting to confirm all this fentanyl that is here. And yes, I'm fired up about this because I got youngins trying to grow up in this community, as do millions of other people got youngins trying to grow up in this community, and they have unleashed the hounds of hell in San Antonio and Bexar County.
And Trey, you and every listener should be fired up. Look, we did a study, and there's data that supports it, that when we're talking about these active attacks, that now 65% of the victims do not even know their attacker.
Wow.
That's alarming. Back in 2017, when I first started doing training on active shooting training, active attack training, it flipped. It was 65% to 70% of victims knew their attacker.
Right.
65 don't know them. What does that mean? Anybody listening could be walking down the street, minding their own business, and they become a victim of this violence.
Absolutely. And so how do you protect yourself? What do you guys at Blue Armor Security tell people about I talk all the time about arm yourself. Go get the training and arm yourself and be prepared for anything at any time. But what do you guys, you're the pros, what do you guys tell them?
Well, you nailed it. Number one we push is grab a firearm and you only pass one test. You shoot 40 or 50 rounds and you're done. No, we got to teach you how to be proficient, how to move and shoot. You one hand, strong hand, weak hand. I mean, we're going to teach you all of those things, and also gun retention in case somebody does try to get your firearm and you're not aware and they catch you off guard. How to retain that, but also self-defense. how to eliminate your threat immediately. So we teach you physical restraints, submission holds to get out of these types of things. And be aware of your surroundings. Get off your phone for a moment when you're walking to and from your vehicle, when you're leaving the mall or leaving the gym or leaving work, and look around. Be observant. Look around. Vehicles parked next to yours. Do you see some feet under there, but you don't see a body that somebody's hiding? Those are the things that we need. Look, this is the world we live in.
Right.
It's sad, right? I mean, Trey, when we were kids in school, we did fire drills. Now they're doing active shooting drills.
Well,
I mean, this is the life. This is reality.
Willie, and what is really sad is it didn't have to happen. But for politics, they opened the border. And for politics, our mayor and our city manager and the sheriff invited whoever, come on into San Antonio. And they put them at the Migrant Resource Center. And now our brave men and women at SAPD and our brave firefighters, they have to watch their backs consistently. You just heard me say that the Fire Association president is telling his men and women at the fire department, watch your six because TDA wants to kill you too.
Look, I've been in first responder for 30 years. This is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this. And I've never, ever heard the fire department come out with concern for their firefighters and for their members of violence from this gang. It's unbelievable the way this country is going, but also the way this county is going.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Willie Ng over at Blue Armor Security, I want everybody to know that they can get your company training. They can get your folks, if you own a business, they can look at your business. They can do a free assessment of where you are with your training, and your employees get trained on safety and security. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you get trained, and as Willie said, if you choose to arm yourself, don't just go one time to a course. You stay on that range, and you know what you're doing if you're going to carry a firearm, and this is the only thing that we can do now to make sure that we and our kiddos are safe. Willie, this is, sorry to say, that you and I are going to have to talk many more times about this, because I don't think this is the last time we're going to hear about these folks in San Antonio and Bexar County.
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't believe so.
Yeah. Willie Ng, Blue Armor Security. Thank you, Willie. Appreciate your time this morning.